It's gonna be a lonely one. Hello everybody, welcome back to the Daily Cup of Genre. I need to try to sound a little bit more excited. Welcome back to the Daily Cup of Genre here on the Genreverse YouTube channel and Genreverse Podcast Network, available on all of your favorite podcast apps. I am Kyle, and I'm going to be doing some solo shows for the foreseeable future until I kind of figure out what's going on. But I do miss doing the Daily COG. I do miss talking movies, television, things that aren't necessarily anime, although I will discuss anime on here from time to time, regardless of co-hosts. But hit the subscribe button if it's something you haven't done already. If you are returning because you like the Daily COG, thank you guys so much. I hope I can be relatively entertaining. I'm looking at whether or not to get a casual rotating set of co-hosts, or try to focus on just a couple that might be able to fill in most of the time, versus doing solo shows until I find a new co-host, or I get super big because you guys just love hearing my opinion, and my wife's been married to me for almost 17 years, so I guess my opinions aren't always the worst. I don't know. Anyways, we got a lot of great content here on the Genreverse, so get subscribed. Anime reactions, podcasts from Breaking Geek and the Cantina. Cantina does Star Wars, Breaking Geek does everything you can imagine in geek and pop culture like we do here, but they're different. They're not me, although I do produce their show. So yeah, lots of cool stuff. Browser window not up, of course. 1 second, guys, and I can get that recaught. There it is. There's the stuff. I was stalling for all that time, and whatever. First show back in a while since Manny left, and we hadn't done many shows since then. Before then, since July, so it's all kind of messy. But hey, check out merch. You want to support the channel, support the Daily Cup of Genre, support Tim Nardelli's Night Terror comic. Check it all out right there. Redbubble, Genreverse on Redbubble, link down in the description box below. So what I want to do, kind of take us through LRM Online's homepage every day, see kind of what's going on the news. We've got a celebrity interview that I need to update a bit. Nancy, I believe, did this one. There we go. Well, there we go. The Good Mother. So check out that. LRM Online's YouTube channel has all the celebrity interviews. They do post articles with them here on lrmonline.com as well. And the cool thing about the website is there's lots of things to get news on, not just kind of like more hoity-toity or more traditional Hollywood stuff, but of course the deep geek pop culture things like Marvel and Star Wars, animation. Cam Clark, one of our who is our head writer, one of our writers, the head writer, does a lot of the reviews here, does a lot of kind of like rumor and leaks aggregation, kind of puts it through his bullshit detector, which is pretty good if you ask me, having known him now for over 5 years. So things like Anakin rumored to be wearing Clone Wars armor. Now, we've heard a lot of things about Anakin and Obi-Wan Kenobi and what they would be seen in either the Kenobi show or this show. And that's one of the ones, I don't have the affinity for the Clone Wars that some of you might. Sorry, but I'm not a prequel era fan whatsoever. And regardless of how great the stories eventually got on the Clone Wars, it wasn't good to start. I didn't care for the era, so I never really got into it. But Bespin Bulletin once again saying we would see Anakin in clone armor. Whether or not it's flashbacks is kind of up to debate. We know that there's the world between worlds situation in the Ahsoka series, so we might be seeing what ifs versus legitimate flashbacks. But that's definitely something Cam digs into there on lrmonline.com. And of course, another thing that we do reviews. Cam does written reviews for the Wheel of Time right now, as well as Ahsoka, and then we review them on video on the Cantina that would be the Dragon Reviewed and the Cantina respectively. So check those out. Definitely. But there's a big story that I wanted to discuss, and that's a physical media story. And if you know me, if you know a lot of us here at the Genreverse, physical media's, it's an interesting discussion with a lot of big supporters and a few, looking at you, Cam, and Jammer. But Disney has been teasing the big return of more physical media, especially like special collections, while at the same time cutting all physical media distribution in some Asian places and Australia, which is whatever. But we're getting a 100 film collection, and we just got announcements for some Disney Plus series like the Mandalorian's season 1 and 2 collections. I think I said that right with plural in the right spot. Anyways, WandaVision, Loki, they're getting physical media releases. I'm hoping we see Andor. There's the word, Andor physical media collection, and those are all good and fine because they're going to be one season, so you expect it to. What did season sets used to be like $60, $60-$70, and I can't remember if they showed a price for those or not, but I'm expecting $60, maybe a little bit more. But what would you pay for 100 films? 100 films that you actually, besides streaming, probably already own in various formats. Well, Disney movies are quite popular. Lots of people bought them on VHS, then bought them on DVD, then bought them on Blu-ray, and it looks like we will be getting a fancy collection, 100 films collection of Pixar, Disney Animation Studios coming home. Blu-ray copies, 100 of them. What do you think that is going to cost? Well, according to the Wrap, $1,500 via Walmart.com. Before we get into the films that are in it, there's going to be a lot of jokes on who's selling at Walmart. Who shops at Walmart? Isn't that a poor person's store? No, I mean, Walmart's in a lot of impoverished areas, sure, but Walmart serves a pretty wide footprint or wide. It runs the social gamut here in America. So it's not ridiculous for them to get this, but it's ridiculous in my opinion for it to be exclusive. You got a lot of people that don't like the Walmart company and don't necessarily want to give them their money. Not to mention, this is a $1,500 movie collection, and I mean, yeah, the movies in it are, look, one, it's a pretty nice setup. There's bonus stuff, there's certificates, books, things like that, and you're gonna get all the big things from Snow White, which of course is their first animated film, Aristocrats and Robin Hood. Getting into the 90s, I was super happy when I saw a Goofy movie on there because I freaking love a Goofy movie. You get into Toy Story and there starts your Pixar, Jungle Book 2 even, so we're getting some things that are what's the word I'm looking for? Not just the cream of the crop. Some sequels in there. Nightmare Before Christmas, that one's pretty cool. Going all the way up through Elemental, which was a sleeper hit this year. It actually had long legs and just kept earning money slowly but surely, and became a profitable movie in an era where things like Strange World and Lightyear didn't do so hot for Disney. But again, it's that thing of most people own these already in multiple formats, and then a lot of people are pretty happy with being able to stream them. I don't know. What do you guys think? Moving on into the box office numbers, because that's another thing that I really like to talk about in general. And Manny was very much the same with me. Weekend box office, nothing special. The Nun actually doing pretty well. We've talked about horror movies being able to defy the newer trends in Hollywood. We've often seen these horror movies come out and push 25, 30 plus $1 million openings and beating out some bigger names out there. But overall, it was a disappointing week in bringing in, what was it, 84, 89 million, 86. I'm right in between the two numbers I had said. I think last week was 89. Let's double check. Was last week 89? Yes, it see, I was doing my research before I hopped on and started recording. Blue Beetle, such a disappointing turnout for that film, which a lot of people seem to be positive on. Gran Turismo, I mean, did anyone really think it was going to knock it out of the park? Ninja Turtles has ended its theatrical run, all but ended its theatrical run, as it's hitting digital soon, if not already. I can't remember off the top of my head, and I don't want to get too distracted, but brought in 161. It's going to get a sequel. It's getting a video game sequel, I read not too long ago. But what's really interesting about the box office overall is the year to year, or at least looking at where we're at now versus where 2022 ended, and we are about 600 million and change behind. Last year 7.4 billion domestic, this year sitting at 6.8 already. And what's curious to me is, what do we have left to make up $600 million? And there's a few things, and I think they're gonna do it, but they're gonna do it just. So not a whole lot in September, of course. A few things like Expendables and Spy Kids, but you don't expect those to be heavy hitters, especially these days. When you get to October, Craven's been moved to August of next year, so MovieWeb, update your stuff. Come on now. Or maybe LRM Online should maintain one. And of course, Dune 2 was also pushed. Five Nights at Freddy's, I expect that to do fairly well. But it's not until November you get to the Marvels. And that one right there alone has the potential to either be a giant bomb, especially compared to the first one, which, man, did that go way further, higher, faster, whatever she says than many people thought, including myself. But Marvel just doesn't have the momentum that it used to have, and coming off of the Ant-Man Ant-Man and the Wasp Quantumania, and then getting into Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3, you've got a little bit of whiplash there, and I don't know if people are invested enough in these three characters to make this a $400-500 million movie on the domestic side. It could be. As of right now, I'm not willing to call or make a guess. It's a bit too early for me to do that. But I'm feeling this is more than likely sub 300. But we'll see how buzz getting up to it, if the writer strikes and actor strikes have ended or anything like that, to allow more promotion from those involved. And then of course in December there's a couple of films that might help us break that $600 million mark. Look, they still had Star Trek 4 on there. Seriously, MovieWeb. Wonka and Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom. between those two and the Marvels, that's where I think we've got our 600 million and change that we need to beat last year. But how far, guys? Like Wonka, it seems completely unnecessary, and not only does it seem unnecessary, it feels like it's set in the wizarding world all over again. And Aquaman has both the unfortunate facts of having to follow up after the Flash, Blue Beetle, and Shazam, all of which, whether you liked them or not, seriously underperformed. Not to mention Black Adam, but that was last year if I'm not mistaken. I don't even remember. yeah, it was late last year, I think. Aquaman also has the whole Amber Heard thing playing on it, and if we learned anything from the Flash, it's that the audience does not always like to support people, actors, actresses, writers, directors that they don't like on a personal level, or that they feel have done, committed crimes, bad things, some of that stuff allegedly, some of that stuff pleaded out in court. So, whatever descriptive term you want to use for the actions of, say, Ezra Miller. But I do think between those three, even if they all relatively underperform, you don't think all of those are going to make less than 200. And even if they do, you still have a few pocket movies in there to kind of fill things out, like a few horror movies, some animated films. There's Ridley Scott's epic Napoleon still to come. I think we've got it. I don't think we surpass last year's numbers by too far. Do we get to 800? Do we get to 7-8? No, I don't think so. Maybe we end 2023 $7.6 billion. Maybe. We'll see. Yeah, let me know what you guys think down below. I don't know what else I'll be doing on here as far as other segments and news coverage. Hopefully I'll be getting more into the classic Kyle raging against things. I don't really have too much to rage against today, which is a good thing. Keep the blood pressure low. But let me know the types of things you'd like to see me talk about here on the Daily Cup of Genre, and be sure to subscribe on the YouTube channel for all sorts of podcasts, reviews, news that we discuss on the different shows, as well as anime reactions, trailer reactions, and more. LRMonline.com every day for all written news, needs, opinions, celebrity interviews, and more. And of course, LRM Online's or the Genreverse, which is under LRM Online, the Genreverse podcast network, available on all of your favorite apps like Spotify, Apple, Google, Stitcher, and more. Merch, mention that. Wear some, buy some, sport some, stickers and stuff, even mugs. We've got mugs, so check all that out. Thanks guys for watching. I'll see you hopefully tomorrow. Bye.